I started watching YouTube when I was like 15 years old and just fell in love with the idea that I could connect with people entertaining me every day. And eventually I wanted to do my own channel and thought it would be easy. And 2 years later I had about 900 subscribers, which was quite good, but not what I was hoping for. Eventually somehow it started picking up. Maybe my videos got a little bit better. And a few years later I was able to move from South Africa to London to do it full time, where I met Joe, and then things even got more better.
I started off, my sister actually introduced it to me because she'd already started the whole YouTube thing just about a year before I did. And I grew up in a very, very small village in the middle of nowhere. And so there wasn't a lot to do. We had to use our imagination a lot. We were quite creative children. So we used to always steal our parents' like camcorder and like record our own shows and stuff. And so we were kind of like doing vlogs and stuff before vlogging was an actual thing. And then obviously YouTube came along later on. And we were like, well, this is what we've been doing for ages growing up, but now there's a place we can put it and get instant sort of feedback and stuff. And
there was no gatekeeper to that either, so they could just upload without having to like get some producer to say you can do it. You can just do whatever you want, which is the beauty of it.
And then I had another job. I used to be a roof thatcher. I used to make like straw roofs in the countryside, and it got to a point where my YouTube channel got so big that I didn't want to ever leave my old job, so I got to a point where I pretty much learnt the trade and then had that as like a fallback just in case, then pursued YouTube full time.
We make videos that are quite basic. So we have maybe ourselves, our cameras, and maybe one or two other people help us every now and then, but we also want to make bigger production value projects. So this was a great opportunity for us not to have to do that specifically on our channels, where I don't personally believe making a really high production value content on my channel would work, because my channel's been built on what I've already been doing. So this was a great opportunity for us to work with some really talented people like Brian Klein, who was part of Top Gear, BBC Worldwide, and make something that we could be really proud of.
And we started our own production company called Walkers Productions through doing Hit the Road. And we've learned so much through doing the whole production process. So now in the future we've got so many different ideas of like maybe longer form content that we can do, as well as still our short normal content. So it's really exciting to sort of learn a new world and just let our creativeness flow. Do you know what I mean?
So I never had a proper job before YouTube. Not that it still doesn't feel like a proper job, but Joe always tells people how he was a thatcher, which I want to see proof of. I've never actually known.
I can get my phone out and show you many a picture.
So yeah, he always made fun of me, and this idea came out of that because I wanted to prove to him that I could do proper work. So we went around Europe without any money, just a camper van, no technology, no YouTube, nothing, and got jobs like gondoliering. We were gondoliers. We worked as pizza makers in Verona.
We were deckhands down the road on a super yacht in Antibes. Yeah.
We actually washed some cars in Cannes.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And the dynamic is just we're two really good friends.
And we wanted to make.
We don't really always know what the right thing to do is.
Yeah, we wanted to make like a really like fun, family-friendly kind of like, just like something that you can watch and just get a feel-good factor from it, which I think we did with the first one. And then we've also been commissioned for Hit the Road USA, which is obviously going to happen in USA, which we're really excited for. So yeah. And
that's going to be bigger and better and more bold.
So obviously off the success of the first one, they give us a bit more sort of leeway. So
more time, a little bit more budget.
It's great because it matches kind of what we do anyway, because I think for me, I think for you as well, similar, obviously our number one demographic on YouTube is the UK.
Mine's like 35%.
I think mine's 40.
And then the US is really close behind that.
Yeah. And then so the rest of it is like, it's all over the world. Like, we get messages every day from people from like the most remote parts of the world, and you're so surprised that they actually watch your content and stuff. So it's a bit of like a no-brainer, because of like, BBC Worldwide, obviously, worldwide in the title, they can hit so many different territories and stuff. So it's just really convenient.
That's the thing about YouTube, is that we were able to just upload videos and they went everywhere. There were no like laws or things we had to go through, which we're now learning about how difficult it is to distribute. So for us, that's one of the most important things, and that's why it's so good to work with such a massive company.